Hi, good evening. I want to get something off my chest. Something happened. I found out something is not good news, and this has not been my year. And I was really, really upset about it. I just couldn't believe that what was going on was happening to me. But back in January of this year, I had went to my dentist office, because I had an appointment with him to, do some work on my mouth. And when I was there, I had told him that something was going on with my gum. I said, "Can you look at my um, gum because I feel something up there. I don't know what it is, but I feel something up there or whatever." So he looked at it, he looked at it and everything else. He's like, "Your gum, it's fine. I don't see anything." And I was like, "It's like a little swollen and it's like a little discoloration." He was like, "Your gum, your gums are all pink." And he said he didn't see anything. He did not take an x-ray. He was just like, "I don't see anything, whatever." So I was like, huh, okay. So I got up and I left. So April 4th, I had to go back because I had braces on my teeth and I had my retainer had broken and everything. So he had to get me a new retainer and everything. So I asked him, I said, "Can I get a prescription, the antibiotic that you had given me before for an abscess?" I thought maybe it was an abscess. I didn't know what it was, but I was feeling something in that gum. It didn't hurt, but it was irritating. And I asked him for an antibiotic, the antibiotic that he gave me back in 2021. And I told him I thought I had another abscess and everything. And could he, so he wrote me the prescription. I went and filled it, everything. He did not do an x-ray. He did not check it or anything. He just wrote me the prescription and I went and got it filled. I took the antibiotics for about 4 or 5 days, and it wasn't working because I was feeling like a burning type of a feeling in my gum, and I was like, "Ooh!" I stopped taking it. So I had another appointment um, with him in July for a cleaning, and I went, and I went and had my to get my teeth cleaned, and the hygienist, she was looking at my teeth and everything else. She was like, "What's over here with your gum?" Because it was swollen and it was reddish. And I said, "I do not know." I talked to the dentist about this in January, and he checked it and he said he didn't see anything, that my gums were fine. And I was like, and I know that it's not because it's swollen and it's irritating. It didn't hurt, but it seemed like something is up there, and it was kind of swollen. And she looked at me with this look on her face, like, "No, he didn't say your gums are fine." She was like, "Ugh." So she went and told him about it, and he told her to take an X-ray. So she took an X-ray. So she cleaned my teeth and everything. The dentist came in and he looked at the X-ray and everything, and he was like, "The tooth looked fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. The tooth looks fine." He did not look at my gum. He didn't look at my gum or anything. He was just showing me the X-ray. So he told her to schedule me for to my check my gums to see if my gums had receded or whatever. I had another appointment with the hygienist October the 23rd for her to check I forgot the name of it, but to see if my gums receded or had receded any. So um so and in the meantime, I was like, I just didn't like the way it felt. So I went and I brought me a water pick. And so I started using a water pick, And that it took the swelling down. And when the swelling went down, it was bleeding when the swelling went down, but it went down. My gum turned back pink like the rest of my gum is. And it felt better, but I still felt something in there. I didn't know what it was, but that water pick helped a lot. And so, and I in October, I didn't go back for I think it's called the scaling or whatever that is that they check to see if your gums have receded or whatever. Because I had told her when I used that water pick, it felt better. The swelling went down, my gums turned back pink, and everything else. But then I would always like look in the mirror and see and look at the gum and look at the gum. And I about a week later, I went and I looked and I was like, I see like my gum had eroded. My gum had, I could see like bone or something in there. And I was like, oh, this is getting, it's getting worse because my gum had started to um not corrode, but it had got worse where I could like in like see something inside of my gum. And so I called my dentist office and I asked, could I go to see a periodontist? Now, my dentist is on the fifth floor, the periodontist is on the fourth floor. So she's, the administrator, she said, yes, I can go and see a periodontist about that gum. And I asked her, did I need a referral or anything? She said no. When I get the appointment and I go down and see her, the periodontist, to just let them know, and she'll send the X-ray that they took down to the periodontist office. So I had the appointment. I had the appointment this Monday, November the 4th, and she had the X-ray that my dentist took, and she was like, I can't see anything. It's just like the tooth. I can't see in the gum or whatever. So she's like, do you mind me taking X-ray myself or whatever? And I was like, sure, because you're gonna have to see it. I don't know why they took an X-ray and you can't see the gum, and I've been complaining about the gum. So she took the X-ray and everything. She came back in with the picture of the X-ray, and because she took like three of them, and she was like, this tooth is done. And it's like a hole in it. Because she was like, see that shadow right there? She said, that's where the bone, she said, is gone. And I was like, but the bridge, because I have a bridge on my left side and a bridge on my right side. And the bridges have been on for 12 years. Never had a problem with anything. And she said I had a cavity, and because the cavity didn't get treated, it grew, and the bacteria, the bacteria set in, and the bacteria started eating and everything else, and it grew. And she said it's done. It's going to have to come out. Now, I didn't know that you could take a bridge off. And she said, yes, you can. She said, you have to take solder it down or something like that, take the bridge off, and she's going to have to do like a bone graft and everything else. And she was talking to me about implants and everything. And so she was telling me how it has to be done and everything. And she was telling me that once she do the 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 startup work of it. I don't I don't know what it's called, but the startup work of it, where she do the bone graft and everything else. She was saying, then I have to wait between 3 and 6 months before she can do the implants. And she was like, I can get a flipper in the meantime. And a flipper is like it's not a denture or anything. It's just the two teeth that's going to be missing. that she's gonna have to take off of this bridge, the two teeth. It'll be a flipper and it goes up over your gums, and it'll be teeth. It looked like my teeth and everything, but she said I can wear a flipper um, until it's time for me to get the implants. So she gave me an estimate of everything, of the work and everything. And one thing that the periodontist had told me, she said if because I had explained everything to her, and she was saying that if my dentist would have caught it in January, if he would have took the x-rays in January and caught it, she said he would have had to still take the bridge off. The bridge would have had to come off, filled the tooth, and then put the bridge back on. So it may have cost me like maybe 2,000, 2,500, something like that. I'm just guessing, something like that. But and I have dental insurance and everything. And so, but when she gave me the estimate of all the work that she has to do, plus the two, because I have to have two implants, plus the implant, everything else, that that estimate was $7,500. I like to have died. And so she said she was going to send the x-rays that she took up to my dentist's office and everything else and have him look at it. Because I was like, let my dentist look at it. Maybe he can fix it or something. I don't know. But she said it can't be filled or anything like that. She said it's going to have to come out. So after I left her office, I had went upstairs and I had talked to the administrator at the desk, and I had told her, I said, is the dentist in? I'm not going to say his name. Is the dentist in? And she said he wasn't in that day, which was Monday, November the 4th. He wasn't in, but he'll be in tomorrow. And so I didn't get all into what the periodontist had told me, but I was not happy, and she could see it on my face. And I said, when he comes in, have him, give me a call and go and get the X-ray that she took, because the X-ray that the hygienist took in July, she couldn't see anything with that X-ray. I don't even know why they took a picture, X-ray of the tooth instead of the gum. But anyway, so Tuesday came, and she called me, and she went downstairs and got the X-ray from the periodontist, because my dentist is on the 5th floor, the periodontist is on the 4th floor, and she showed it to my dentist, and he said, "Oh, the tooth, oh, nothing we can do. That's gonna have to come out, you know." And so she told me, she had called me back, told me what he said and everything else, and I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no." And so I explained to her what had happened. And so she was like, "Darlene, I know you're upset. Calm down. Come up here." She told me to come up there around quarter to 12 and talk to him. I was like, "Fine." So, I went and I talked to him and everything else. And I was like, why I told you something was going on with my gum in January. You did not take an x-ray. You looked at it and you said everything looked fine to you. You did not take an x-ray. In April, I came. I told you something was going on. I thought it was an abscess because I had an abscess before. And I asked you to give me that antibiotic from that you gave me before, from that abscess that I had back in 21. You just wrote me the prescription. You didn't look at my gum. You didn't say anything. You didn't even check it. You just wrote me that doggone prescription. And I took it, and then I stopped because it was kind of like a burning feeling that I was getting. And I knew that was wrong. So I stopped taking it. And he was like, "Oh, well, that's good. That's good." And then I said, then I came back in July and got my teeth cleaned. And the hygienist, she saw it and she was like, "What's going on?" And I and she told you had her take an x-ray, and she only took an x-ray of the tooth area. She didn't take an x-ray of the gum. So when I went to the periodontist, she was like, she had to take another x-ray because she had to see the gum area, not the tooth area. Why, I mean, I don't understand why she took it of the tooth. And then the hygienist, she didn't even tell me, well, go see a periodontist or anything else. She was going to have me to come back in October to do, I forgot the name of it. It's not a scaling, but it's where they look at the they look and see how much your gum had receded. And I told him, I said, I can see my gum receded. I can see my gum, it was fine. My gum hadn't receded in January. It wasn't receded in April. It was receded in July, and it got worse. And I would always look in the mirror and checking everything else, like, what is wrong with this gum? And it had receded. And so, I told him what the periodontist had um, told me and everything else. And so I left, and he was saying, is $7,500 for all the work that she has to do, but then you have to have a crown, and I have to have two crowns put on. That's like another $3,000-4,000. I'm looking at like maybe 11,500, $12,000. I was like, no, 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 no. So I left. I told my sister, explained everything to her. She came by my condo, and she looked at it, and she was like, your gum has corroded. It receded. Your gum has receded. She was like, there's nothing there. Your gum is receded. My sister was like, ooh. And I talked to my brother's wife. She's a biller in a dentist's office. She's been in dentistry her whole life, and she was always a biller, and she knows a lot about dentistry. And I even uh, took pictures of the pictures that my that the periodontist had taken. I asked him to send it to me, to email them to me, and I had showed my brother and his wife. Like I said, she a biller, but she knows all about dentistry, and they looked. They was like, oh, what the heck happened? So I'm looking at like 11, $12,000. I have to go and get the prep work. She has to build bone up in my gums, so so the so it can hold the implant, and all of this and everything else. And she was saying that after she do that, I would have to get a flipper, and a flipper is like two teeth, and you just stick it up in your the gum area, and it looked like you got teeth. Because when they take, because they're gonna have to take these two these two out, because it's a bridge, but they're gonna have to cut it and solder it down or something, and pull that tooth out. Oh, she gonna have to do all that. I'm like, oh my god. And it'll be a flipper. So when I smile, it'll look like I still got all my teeth. But so I'm looking at, so it's gonna be like I said, 11,500, $12,000. So my family, they told me to leave the dentist. Don't even go back to him to do the crown. Leave the dentist. And the periodontist, she sent the estimate and everything to my insurance company to see how much they're going to pay, and then what my portion of the bill is. And my insurance company does pay for implants. They pay 50% for implants, which is good. But so my portion, I'm looking at maybe $4,000-$5,000 for my portion. So once the periodontist gets the approval back from my insurance company, and then they'll tell me like how much I have to pay, I'm going to send my dentist an email, and I'm gonna have to tell them you're gonna have my portion. You're gonna have to pay that. Oh no, 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 because that's malpractice. My sister said it was malpractice. My brother's wife said it's malpractice because you did not do an X-ray. And I was telling you about that gum ever since January. You did not do an X-ray. Then you went and wrote a prescription for an antibiotic. Didn't check it. Didn't look at it at all, and wrote that prescription. That's malpractice. And so we'll see how it goes. But um, if he refused to pay that my portion of it, I'm gonna have to take him to court. I'm gonna have to sue him for it. But I'm just, it really, really upset me. That made me so mad. And I found this out Tuesday. I mean, I found it out Monday. I talked to him Tuesday. Made me so mad. Then with the election, I cried. I did not sleep, and I cried because I was like, you mean to tell me I mean, I had these bridges on my teeth for 12 years. I didn't know you can get a cavity because my the she the the hygienist, she was telling me that um that tooth, something is going on. She didn't exactly know. She probably did, just didn't want to tell me. But she knew that tooth was going to have to be pulled and everything, and it was going to be expensive. But I'm just so upset that I had to, go through all of this. It's almost a year, and that tooth just got worse and worse and worse. And I just think it's sad how and it was a cavity at first. That's all it was a cavity. It was just a cavity, and all he would have had to do was just take the bridge off. He would have had to take the bridge off, fill the cavity, and put a new bridge on. It may have cost me maybe like $2,000-$3,000. That's fine. I have insurance, and everything else. But now it's all jacked up and everything else. Now I am looking at almost $12,000. That's just not going to fly. So I just want to get this, off my chest because, like I said, my sister's she's a doctor, and she even looked at it and she was like, "Oh," and I'm just, and everyone, they said that's malpractice. And when he wrote me that prescription and didn't look, I just I just can't believe, didn't take an X-ray, didn't look. He just wrote that prescription. They said that's malpractice. But I just wanted to get it off my chest because it really, really bothered me, and it's still bothering me. So I have to wait to the until the periodontist get the approval back from my insurance company, and tell me exactly how much I'm gonna have to pay and everything else. And that's just for that's not even including the crown. But anyway, it's ugly. And I have been with this dentist for over 30 years. Over 30 years. And never had anything to happen. But I guess when you start getting older, and then he got married, I was like, maybe his wife tripping or something. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just shocked that he did not catch that. I just that's not good. But I just wanted to get that off my chest, and share that with you all. Um, I just think it's a shame how some people just don't. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with him, and I, he just looked at me when I was talking to him, my dentist. He just looked at me with this guilty look on his face, and I had told him, I said, you know what, I may have to go to the board. I may have to report this to the board. And he was just like, and he didn't say anything else. But I'm just waiting for the estimate and everything to come back from the insurance, from my insurance company, and get the exact amount. So we shall see what happens. But I was like, oh, no, 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 no. This is not going to fly. Oh, no, no, no. So thank you all for listening, and take care.